Hi and welcome to Conversations with Calvin. Today we're going to discuss internships. I'd like you to put your comments or your ideas or your feedback on an email for me at info@calvinbusiness.co.za. So if you are a young student and you're watching this video blog about internships and you've got some experience or you want to comment back to me on it, then please drop me an email. Also, if you're a parent and you're interested to know more about internships for your child currently studying, then also drop me an email and you could ask me some questions. I have a lot of experience in this, in internships. My college has been now going for the second year now, and for more than 6 years I've been teaching at various colleges in and around Cape Town. Okay, so let's talk about the internships. Now, basically, students usually, at colleges, students usually do the internships in their third year and usually in the second semester. So they are required, most of them are required to do at least 120 hours, or if you break it down, it takes about a month full-time or up to 2 months if the student does it about twice a week. So that is about a month's internship. So to me that is essentially wrong, because there's a wrong way to do internships and a right way to do internships. And to do a month's internship, the student is not going to learn much. It's too little time, especially if there's if it's a specialist program or if it's a specialist course like engineering, architectural or graphic design. It's not a little business management diploma that they're studying, or for a receptionist or something. It's really, if you're studying for a diploma but the subject matter is specialist, then a month is not going to help. So the other major thing that's wrong with internships today is that, you know, once a student goes for an internship, it is required that the person at the company helps the student. In other words, takes the student under their wings, guides them, almost mentors them, helps them, gives them work, see that they cope. But many times it's just as if the students go to the internships and they get briefed very quickly in the morning, and in a way they just expected to do the work, whether they get it right or wrong. It's just too little attention is given to them. It's almost like the person at the company is trying to cope with their workload and now have to babysit in a way somebody, and they can't focus on the work they've got to do and their goals they've got to achieve. So those are unfortunately the two things that doesn't make internships so successful, and yet I believe that internships is the key to bridging the gap from college to the real working environment. So if you look at it, I would say that if you look at the time, the first problem, the question of time, you know, I would say it takes up to 4 to 6 months for the student to really grasp and understand that industry and to really benefit. Because as I said, let's say for example the student is going to do an internship at a engineering company, then that they might be going to the engineering company knowing a bit of AutoCAD, but now they might have to work on other software that company is working on, whether it be SolidWorks or whatever they work or whatever the company requires. So there is a bit of a learning process that goes with it. And being specialist it's going to take time because there's going to be a period of orientation. What is the requirements that the company needs? There might be new innovations in that industry, a new direction. So the student might have come with theory content learned at college and then find out that there are new trends or new happenings. So what the student is going to be exposed to is going to be quite different to what he's learned and from the lecturer he's learned. So that what is learned in class is just to kickstart him, but the real learning really happens at that internship company, and that is why that 4 to 6 months is so important. And another important thing is that the student must have a dedicated staff member that will be helpful and that will give full attention and commitment to that student. Because if that staff member or that senior person or whoever is responsible for the intern can guide the student and can see that the student is motivated and positive and wants to learn, then in a while, in a month or two, that intern student is going to become a benefit to that person. So, but if that person is just going to stay a month, the staff member thinks to themselves, okay, so they're not going to be here long anyway, so let me just put up with this person and give him some work and I can focus on doing my work. But let's say the person stays 2 months, then the person gets to know the staff member, and then that staff member can guide and it can be useful, and they can start helping each other, and in effect then the workload of the staff member becomes less because this person is now getting better and better and becoming more helpful, so that the productivity increases. And there's the benefit, because now it benefits the company because there could be more increased productivity, and it also benefits the student because now he's actually learning. He's learning to apply his knowledge. So whatever he was taught in class, now he's applying that knowledge. Say, for example, in class he had to learn AutoCAD and the computer software for, let's say, drafting for the architectural industry. Now he will be drawing plans and he'll put it practically to use what he's learned. Same with graphic design. If they've learned Photoshop and Illustrator in class with a lecturer, now they can go to a company and apply. Let's say it's a packaging company, like one of my students have been to recently. Then they learn what are the requirements of a packaging design and how do they work with Illustrator and they do logos. So the knowledge increases as they apply what they've learned practically, and now they've got a dedicated person to guide and to help them over a longer period of time. So the students then the knowledge of the student increases, and also remember the student now also gets used to the working environment or the culture of that company, because in the past students come straight from a trick, they go to colleges, and you know the mocking of colleges is, oh yeah, the student is just partying. So in other words, now the student has to be dedicated, get to work early, be there the whole day, be productive. So there's a whole cultural change, and the student adapts to it. So now with the student having a challenge, the student will take up on that challenge, and he doesn't feel that he's just being left behind or ignored or neglected. And unfortunately in many colleges that is the norm, where students tend to be ignored, or there's not much dedication. So that's the sad part, because internships do work. Now I just want to end off by saying, what about the money? Should it be a paid internship or an unpaid internship? Now, well, here I'm going to give you my point of view. You see, to me, it does not matter whether it's a paid internship or unpaid internship, because it's the student is young and the student is learning. And the learning that the student gets is more valuable than what the student gets paid, because the student is still young. There's a lot of, if the student's about 21, 22, there is time to earn more money as they progress in the company. So my point of view in general is that 3-year diploma courses are too long, because they only go for internships in their 3rd year. So now if the student is doing, say, going to a college and he's spending his 1st year at college when he's 19, the 2nd year when he's 20, and the 3rd year when he's 21, he's only going to be starting doing internships when he's 21. I'm saying that a lot of the content can be learned within the first 6 months. And that is why I'm sending my students to internships in the 2nd semester, in the 4 to 5 months in the 2nd semester of the 1st year. And here, one cannot expect the company to pay because the student hasn't got their diploma yet. So, but what you can ask, what you can expect is for the student to get a lot of knowledge and learning from the company, and that the student be motivated and the company can benefit in that way. So I would say that in the 1st year, you can't expect a paid internship. But now, let's say now in the 1st year, the student has done internship in the 2nd semester, and now after the 1st year or the 1-year diploma course, they've got the diploma. Then in the 2nd year, they can now go and work full-time at a company with a paid internship. And I'm going to call it a paid internship as opposed to a contract, because the student is still young. Then the student will be 20 years old. So then getting a small amount of payment for working, say, 6 months to a year at a company, gaining experience. Now this is important. This is in the 2nd year then where they'll gain a lot of experience, because they're not going to be there for a short time. They're going to be there at least a year with a small paid internship for a whole year. Now when the student is 21, in other words, now he can go and work at a company full-time with all the letters and experience from that paid internship in the 2nd year when he was 20, and that all benefits the student when he's 21 and really goes and enters the job market and starts looking for a permanent job. And you compare that now to the student that's done three years. That 3rd year student is only going to be starting an internship, and then he's not used to working hard or working 9 to 5 hours. They're so into party mode in 3 years, and they're not focused on their career. So I would really recommend internships, but proper internships, and not to put the focus too much on whether it's paid or unpaid. But obviously, after you've completed your diploma and you've got that diploma in your hand, then you should insist on a paid internship, however small it is. And again, you've got youth on your side, because you'll be like 21, 22 years old, and you'll get a head start. So give me your feedback. What do you think? Your views, I'd like to hear it, whether you're a student or a parent or a lecturer, or just want to give me your views in general. I'd like to hear from you. My email is below, and my websites are below of what I offer, and let's stay in contact. Thank you very much.